It was
Ellie?
banal. It's like they try and pump excitement in where excitement doesn't exist.
We're talking about how terrible and lobotomized she is and how she can't actually, communicate to an audience.
You also do have to accept that there is people out there who will like it. Just because you don't doesn't mean that everybody hates it. And the same way, for me, just because I like it doesn't mean that everybody else will.
She is an actress. She's a very good actress.
If I was one of the Netflix bosses, and I can assure you some of them will be, absolutely fuming at the fact that Harry is not in that, because that is what they paid the $100 million for.
I mean, I don't think my daughter would necessarily buy a £9 jar of
Is that
jam.
a bit tone deaf? Is that out of
jar of
touch?
jam.
I think she's the golden gates of Montecito have made her very cut off from what is a reasonable price for a pot of jam.
How much of this is Meghan's authentic self?
This is what I don't quite understand. So these digs irritate me.
Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Hewson and this is a special edition of Royal Exclusive, where we take a first look at the second series of Meghan Markle's brand new Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. Joining me to get stuck into our review of the show is The Sun's bizarre editor, Ellie Henman, royal commentator, Afua Hagan, and news commentator, Samara Gill. So we have spent the morning watching this second series of With Love, Meghan. And let's just get a quick reaction from all of you. What did you think,
It was
Ellie?
banal. I've never watched anything so boring. But so boring they try and make it interesting. Like there was a scene with Chrissy Teigen, they're trying to measure out some sort of ingredient, and it's like the Krypton factor. And I'm like, why are you struggling? Just measure it out. It's like they try and pump excitement in where excitement doesn't exist. I will not watch the third series if there is one.
If there is one. Good question, which we can talk about a bit later on. Afua, what about for you? How did you rate this series?
I like this season. I liked the first season, but I actually think I preferred this season. I think Meghan is more relaxed into this set of 8 episodes. She seems like she's enjoying herself more. The crafts were, I mean, they're getting bigger and sort of more extravagant as the season goes on. But I think I said this last time as well. I think it's more aspirational more than inspirational. I think she understands that we don't have a craft house at the bottom of our garden, and I'm not pressing flowers and making them into earrings. But she used to teach this
Or a
stuff.
pendant for your dog.
Exactly. But she used to teach this stuff, and that's stuff that she likes doing. So actually, I liked it. I liked Tam France this season. I really liked him. I quite like Chrissy Teigen, so I liked her as well. Yeah, I really liked it.
I fear they're making the kind of comparisons with the first series, Samara, and that's quite interesting, isn't it? How do you think this season differs? Because they were filmed at the same time. This isn't a brand new season. It's just material that wasn't in the first one. Yeah, exactly. But it does feel slightly different. Have they learnt the lessons from the criticism of season 1?
I think the editing is completely different. I think that they did see the massive backlash from the first season. Obviously, that's gotten about 30% on Rotten Tomatoes if they were lucky. It was not received well by the majority of its viewers. And so, I think with the editing, what they've done is sort of say, okay, a bit less of Meghan, a bit more of the personalities that we're going to put into there. But I would say it does still seem like Meghan is experiencing life for the first time. Majority of things she hasn't actually done before. A majority of the people and the guests she's never met before.
But I actually thought that was quite good, because I didn't want the whole matey vibes that we saw a bit last time. I liked the fact she was bringing in people and maybe learning from their expertise a little bit more than just kind of chatting and making Meghan look good.
And I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? I mean, with shows where you have a chef and they bring in a guest, you're learning from maybe a celebrity chef guest, and people are learning from each other. I kind of think that's the point. And I agree with you, Sarah, that I liked it more, that it was less sort of, these are my friends. She did have her friends in it. She had Daniel, a makeup artist, in it again.
Yeah,
but
who was kind of her plus one, wasn't he?
But I like the fact that she's learning from different chefs and sort of doing different things with them. I think that's kind of the point of the show.
The reviews that have come out in the papers so far may not surprise you, are pretty brutal. Hilary Rose in The Times says, save yourself, don't do it. At The Telegraph, more tone deafness from the Montecito Marie Antoinette. And The Guardian says it's so painfully contrived that it is genuinely fascinating. There's also the closing title sequence. The music is "Let's not let this be the last time" or something. The lyrics, and that's been picked up by a lot and saying, please do let this be the last time. I mean, you would agree with that, Ellie. You won't be watching.
I really would.
Series 3.
I think there will be a series 3 ultimately, because they're
Think
like
there will or there won't?
There will,
Okay.
because I think they've become like Marmite. People love to criticise and they love to hate on it. Like, I personally wouldn't watch, but people that don't like them will watch it. People that do like them will watch it, which means it will do well. It will get absolutely hammered in the ratings, but it will still get streams, I think.
And maybe for Netflix, is it not so much about the ratings? Because I think it was watched by 5.3 million people, the first series, and was down below the top 300.
But also,
on their rankings.
but in its culinary category, genre, it was one of the top shows.
But the thing is, it generates publicity. It gets us all talking.
That's true.
Doesn't it?
Honestly,
And,
it'll be front pages tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing, and it will. People will talk about it. They talk about it on social media. They talk about it in news.
Yeah.
We're talking about it now.
Yeah.
You know, we're dedicating a whole show just to this one series. Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. Sorry. I think you're absolutely right, is that, you know, whether people are going into it with an open mind thinking, here is a cooking show and here's a crafting show and it's done by Meghan the Duchess of Sussex. Let me watch it with an open mind and let me watch it to maybe find a recipe that I might like or a skill I might pick up. People are going in it because they either really, really like her or really, really hate her. Definitely. And it's going to get so many streams from people that I hate watching. I mean, I could just never waste my time like that. If I didn't like something or didn't like someone, what I would never do is watch the whole series and then bitch about it online, because that's a massive waste of your life.
Definitely. I mean, going into that, I wouldn't watch it again because I did learn nothing. And I appreciate your view that...
So you weren't doing the QR code for the recipes?
No,
That was new, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's, you know, they say all publicity is good publicity. I actually don't think so in this case. Yes, we are all talking about it, but not for the right reasons. We're not talking about this amazing, paratha that she made with Jay Shetty. We're talking about how terrible and lobotomized she is and how she can't actually, communicate to an audience.
Actually,
and she's trying to sell jam. That's the main thing of this whole thing. So I don't think it's actually great publicity, and I don't think it's a good thing that people are talking about this Netflix series in such a way.
But this is the thing, is that, but we are talking about it differently. You don't like it, so you are talking about it negatively. I did like it, I'm talking about it positively. And actually, that's what we have to recognize, is that there is people out there who are not you, and that's okay, who will love it, and there is people out there who are
There's
not
a small
me
percentage
that
who will
won't
like it.
I mean, I don't know how much the percentages is, and maybe I'll go out and do a survey.
But you also do have to accept that there is people out there who will like it. Just because you don't doesn't mean that everybody hates it. And the same way, for me, just because I like it doesn't mean that everybody else will.
And I think we have to come from a place of balance, which when it comes to Meghan the Duchess, when it comes to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, that is lost. There doesn't seem to be balance. I think people will either come from being very negative or very positive without a sort of, overview of it.
I guess it depends what the audience is coming to this for, and the audience will come to it for multiple different reasons, whether it's because they want to see this lifestyle in Montecito, whether they want to learn from Meghan and her guests, new recipes, or whether they just want these insights into royal life.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about that, what we learn about Prince Harry, because he doesn't feature in this at all. He did make fleeting appearance in season 1, but in this one, we've just got 2 photographs of him.
And John Legend, which I appreciated.
John Legend did turn up, yes.
Twice.
So, John Legend turns up with his wife, Chrissy Teigen, to drop her off. But then, as one of the reviews put it, he's shut away in the cupboard, and it's just this kind of voice in the background where she's forgotten her children's birthdays.
This is the best bit of the entire series, because she forgets her children's birthdays, so has them tattooed on her arm. I mean, I'm not a mother, but mothers will say, the day your child is born, that date is engraved on your brain. Yeah. How will she not know?
Well, and she's got them tattooed on her arm, but she still can't read it.
She still can't read it. So calls out to John Legend in his cupboard, inaudible mumbling from the background. But that was my key part I thought that's the best part of the series.
And I think Meghan says, I should have invited H along.
Yes.
At that point, but he's not there.
No, he's like this omnipresent thing in the background that we never see but we hear of. It's very weird, to be honest. I mean, the whole show's meant to be about family, hosting, being, basically the perfect housewife, and her husband is nowhere to be seen. It's a very, very strange editorial move.
It gets a bit Line of Duty as well for me, because I kept watching and suddenly it's completely referring to H, and I'm like, what, Line of Duty H? Oh no, it's Prince Harry. Just call him Harry or Henry.
Please.
Or PH, because she has this baseball cap made PH 40 that she handed out to friends for his 40th birthday.
I just kept thinking prized Herbert every time I saw it. Like, oh my gosh. He's never going to wear that hat.
And other people walking around Montecito with their PH 40.
As soon as I saw it, I just thought, prized Herbert, 40.
Is it a conscious decision, Afua, that he doesn't feature in
I
this?
think
They are
so.
going their separate ways professionally, aren't they?
I think it is a conscious decision that she wanted this to be about her and what she's doing and about the guests and less of the focus on him. Because I think if we had seen him more than we'd seen him in season 1, so in season 1, he was more featured a little bit in the last episode, wasn't he, really? And I think if we'd got more than that, then the conversation we'd be having now is, why is there so much Prince Harry? Is it now the Prince Harry and Meghan show? Is he going to cook? Like, if we had him putting something in the oven, the headline would be, Meghan makes her husband cook. Oh my goodness, how dare he? He's going to burn alive. So I just think, it probably was a conscious editorial decision that in this particular series, we're going to talk about him and talk about the kids who we don't see as well and not necessarily have him in it, which I think is fine.
But from a ratings point of view, would it have been better for him to be in it? I mean, their big hit, of course, was Harry and Meghan, the documentary series.
Exactly. If I was one of the Netflix bosses, and I can assure you some of them will be, absolutely fuming at the fact that Harry is not in that, because that is what they paid the $100 million for. That's what they wanted, brand Harry and Meghan. They didn't just pay for Meghan, actress off Suits, married well. They want Harry included in it, and he wasn't. So I think that it's a very, very bad move. And if she wants to get renewed for that 3rd season, this isn't a good start.
But she's the one that can deliver content, isn't she? And I mean, I don't think you agree, Samara, but actually she is a natural on camera. She is in her element. This is kind of her happy place to be. And, to quote her, this is her authentic self, Ellie.
It is, and you can tell it is her happy place. She is an actress. She's a very good actress. If you believe some of the headlines, she's very good at playing a certain role. She plays this role well. She does come across as authentic in some parts. Other parts are quite forced, but also I don't know her as a person. Maybe that smug person is her constantly. Wouldn't really want a friend that smug. But it's just,
There were glimmers of hope. I mean, the bits that I did really like, I know people will find that hard to believe, but when she was talking about her Deal or No Deal days with Chrissy Teigen, putting the eyelashes in the plastic bag afterwards, her with Tan France saying, I used to do a McDonald's drive-through every time I had an audition and I used to get myself an apple pie as a treat. That was the authentic Meghan that people want to see, but it feels like she keeps that
She was a hostess in a restaurant on
Correct,
Sunset Boulevard as well.
Yeah, we want to hear about that side.
You do need more of that.
Yes.
Because it's just the simpering and the giggling doesn't really wash.
Well, we've definitely got more of sort of the backstory of who she is, how she got to, or why she's interested in the things she's interested in this season. When she was talking with the chef with the curly hair, I can't remember her name, the one that has the dinners with her friends every Monday, and she was talking about when they were binding the books, and she said, I used to teach this. I used to teach binding books and crafting and flower arranging and all that. And I was like, I kind of feel like you should lead with that for people who don't necessarily know that, because then the rest of the whole thing makes sense. This is something that she used to teach and she was passionate about, I think. And if you don't know that about Meghan, then you're just like, why on earth are you making scarves and doing the flowers? But this is something she used to teach. There's, calligraphy, flower arranging, book binding. These are things that she was being really passionate about from day dot. And I think maybe leading with that would make it make sense to more people who don't necessarily know that about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex.
She's also given an interview to Bloomberg Originals, The Circuit, and she's talked about, looking back at her high school self. She's asked about the price point of her products. I know you two are both purchasers of these. And, you know, I would say the price point is pretty high, at kind of $9 for a jar of jam, which is the starting point, the entry level. And she describes that as her hero product. And the pricing was really key to her because she talked about being a high school kid aspiring to buy into a certain person and a certain brand. And she wanted to make that possible now for high school kids. And that a $9 jar of jam was affordable for them. I don't know about you. I mean, I wouldn't be spending that as a high school kid.
I don't think I would as a high school kid either. And I mean, I don't think my daughter would necessarily buy a £9 jar of jam.
Is that a bit tone deaf? Is that out of touch?
I think she's just said that incredibly clumsily. I think if she'd have actually thought about what she was saying, I think she said that wrong. I think what she's trying to say is she maybe wants the high school kids to think, I can achieve that one day when I'm doing this, because you'd have to be so out of touch if you thought someone at high school or, you know, college students could afford a jam.
I think it's about maybe if you really love someone and really love a brand and wanting to buy into it. I think I agree with you that perhaps it was clumsy, and that's what she's saying, that it's about buying into the brand and buying into something you love. Maybe, you know, people of our age would do it. I'm not sure about high school kids, but
I mean, I'd buy a £9 pot of jam if I really liked it, or I really wanted it, or if I, you know, because that's I like
would
spending my money
age,
on. I love food. I'm a foodie. But yeah, it might, like when I was 18, I was more interested in nightclubs and nights than...
We know she was an aspirational teen, though. I won't forget that video that's now leaked of her driving in a convertible that her dad gifted her down Rodeo Drive and sort of pointing out the shops. Like, we know that. I think there is some truth in what she said there, but I think she's the Golden Gates of Montecito have made her very cut off from what is a reasonable price for a pot of jam. That's $9. No way.
And what do we learn about her now? In episode 4, she's talking about colour and I'm a neutral person. Now, the reason why those of us who watch the royals closely might pick up on that is because, of course, one of the things, the criticism she made of life within the royal family was that she couldn't wear her choice of colours because she wanted to fade into the background, and as a less senior member of the royal family, you had to let everyone else go first. She is very much a neutral person, and it's her own choice now, isn't it, Afua?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the fashion on the show, I mean, it's long been talked about, you know, the brand she wears, and even some of her friends were complimenting the dresses and things that she wears. I think now that she feels she has more choice, that she can be exactly who she wants to be, she's leaning into her authentic self. And I think maybe with age as well, she's a bit older now. She's a mom of 2 now. The style that she's in really works for her.
And of course, she's also being able to monetize that style,
100%.
isn't she? Because you can link to buy some of those brands that she supports.
Link to shop, yeah.
Well, yeah, she also obviously said, you know, she wasn't really able to celebrate her heritage in the royal family, or at least that, you know, there were some accusations of racism. I would have loved to see some traditional meals then for this Nigerian side that she talks about, that she has. I mean, that was also missing. In my opinion, from the series, because she was very vocal about that from within the royal family. So that was also a confusing move. A lot of stuff is antithetical to what she was complaining about while she was in the royal family.
I think when it comes to her finding out her Nigerian heritage, remember she found that out after she stepped back as a working royal, so she wasn't vocal about that when she was within the royal family.
But she did claim that there was racism while she was in the firm. And then you know, and then she said she was trying to embrace her Nigerian heritage. So it would have been great to get a couple of meals, or maybe she could bring a famous Nigerian chef in and do that, because that is something that she's been vocal about. So it would have been great too.
Actually, you talk about her being vocal, because that's one of the things she says to Bloomberg, is that I wasn't able to be as vocal.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to dress the way that I wanted to. She talks about having to wear the nude tights, and that wasn't authentically her at all. So that's been picked up as a bit of a dig on life within the royals. I mean, I think we all have to kind of conform to certain ideas depending on the job we do or whatever.
Of course you do, and that always really irks me because it's not as if she was paraded around 24/7. I'm so sorry you had to wear a pair of tights or stockings to do a bit,
I remember being told when I first became a royal correspondent, actually, that it was the done thing to wear tights to Buckingham Palace.
Yeah,
not to wear bare legs.
Of course you would, because you're respectful and that's your job and you're very high ranking in what you did and you want to be professional, and I'm pretty sure you probably just smiled and got on with it and nipped down to M&S. I don't understand, and I couldn't dress how I wanted. If you look at Meghan's fashion, and I know I'm no expert at this, but if you come in and look, she'd always looked impeccable. She looked amazing. I'm like, what's wrong with what you were wearing? What else would you actually have worn? Like, if you can't wear the same colour as the Queen, there are so many colour palettes. This is what I don't quite understand. So these digs irritate me because I just think...
Are they digs
put
or
up and shut up.
is she just talking about how it was?
There's one thing she does miss, though, about the UK, isn't there?
Magic FM.
Magic FM.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the things I miss the most about the UK is the radio station.
Our radio's so good.
Magic.
Magic FM? Wow.
It's a great radio station.
I agree.
Mellow magic.
Yeah.
She needed a bit of that.
Yeah.
Buckingham
Magic
Palace,
chill,
calm her down.
late at night, that's nice as well.
Yeah, that was her favourite radio station. But when she's talking about that, she's kind of picked up on that, but isn't she? I think it's Tan France, Queer Eye star, who says, sorry to say this to you publicly, but that is such a grandma station.
Yeah. And then she talks about the station she listens to in her car. It's called something like Mum Jeans or something like that. Soft rock and 70s and country. I mean, if that's what floats your boat, why not? Good for you.
Tan was great because he's
was great.
Netflix talent on the payroll. He was probably told to be there by the Netflix bosses. That's just my thought there. But I think it was funny how she asked him to draw a rainbow on his child's apron, and he goes, "That's too gay for me." There are a couple of hilarious jokes in there, and I could see a bit of I could see they were trying to be friends. But the chemistry wasn't quite there. But maybe
I think the chemistry was there with them. I thought he was really good. I've got a lot of time for Tan France. I thought his flower sprinkles comment that I can't repeat here, but was really funny as well.
Said that was the most gay thing.
Yeah.
I've sanitised
a paraphrase.
that.
Yeah.
That he'd ever heard.
Yeah, I thought he was so funny. And I thought the chemistry between them was cute, actually.
There were some interesting guests on this as well, weren't there? And in particular, I mean, I thought it was really interesting that Claire Smith, who was the chef that catered Harry and Meghan's wedding, flew over from the UK to appear on the show. And we got a few little insights into what it was like. There were some photographs from the wedding reception, some photographs of the tables where they had the kind of Americanisms and the Britishisms, the cilantro and the coriander, for example. And we learnt that she also catered for a little secret surprise anniversary dinner in a tiny old chapel. We don't know where, perhaps somewhere at Frogmore. We don't know.
I think all these little snippets and these little details are really nice because these are things that we've never heard before, we've never seen before. There's very limited pictures of their wedding, and now it gives us such a nice insight into, the big day and the sort of more personal moments. I thought those bits were really good.
The thing is, if she did more of that, she could probably write herself better headlines, because if she actually gave us more little juicy snippets and more interesting things that we didn't know that were positive about her time in the royal family, you'd be looking at you'd be skewing the narrative. Like, it would just be such better. I want to know who's advising her, because I'd just be like, talk about all the positive things that happened. Don't give anyone a reason to come for you. I mean, maybe she wants, but that's why I think she wants to criticise. So to try and make that point better. I just think she could be far cleverer. Because I'd love to know more about their wedding. And Claire Smith is an amazing chef. Her restaurant is absolutely outstanding.
Amazing. Yeah. And she revealed that she's taken one of the recipes that they did for the after party
fried
at the wedding, fried chicken, and that's now off menu at Core.
That's amazing. And people will go to Core now to try Meghan and Harry's fried chicken.
Yeah.
It'll probably be incredibly expensive, but very well cooked.
Very good.
And Samara, for you, of the guests that she had on this time, did any stand out?
I liked Jay Shetty's episode, although I'm a bit like, oh gosh, but just because Jay Shetty's got an interesting record. But him and his wife coming over, cooking their traditional food and really getting into it with Meghan, I thought was really good. And I really enjoyed watching them do that. But I think that most of the people that were guests there, even Claire, even, you know, her makeup artist, they're all people that, first of all, she met while she was in the royal family. And second of all, a lot of them are on the payroll. It was very hard to watch knowing that those people are there not because they're friends with Meghan, but because they've kind of been sequestered into the show. And that's where the authenticity just starts to completely crack for me.
Okay, but Samara, earlier on you were not happy about people that she didn't know being on the show.
Yeah, that's what I said. So
Okay.
everyone on payroll, people who she doesn't really know that, well, they're meant to be there, they're paid to be there, or they had been worked for her in some capacity. So yeah, I would love to see some authentic friends of hers, but they're few and far between, so we hear.
Yeah, I mean, she talks in the Bloomberg interview, doesn't she, about why the kind of criticism is going to happen of this, and that, you know, some of the criticism is going to happen anyway because everyone's just open to criticising her. And she says, well, look, a lot of these critics are, you know, maybe they're going home and they're making my skillet spaghetti anyway. Have you made anything from the last season? Are you going to make anything from this one?
I made the spaghetti.
Did you? How was it?
Me too.
Yeah, it was good actually.
And you did?
Yeah.
For professional purposes or because you liked the recipe, Samara?
Both. I liked it. I liked
it's
it.
very easy.
Don't worry, we can be friends over the pasta. I did enjoy it, and it was very easy to make.
It's
too.
very easy.
Just
That's
pour the
thing.
water on.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
I actually quite fancy making the apple butter because I love doing things in my slow cooker. So I quite fancy trying that on sourdough with a bit of ricotta and stuff. And also, I've got loads of friends that do sourdough and do the sourdough starter, and they're like, it's really easy, but it's the measuring out.
Wow. Now that did look a bit of a faff, really, didn't it? Because we saw her day
so
1,
many
day 2,
people
day
have
3,
done
day
it,
4, day
though.
5, day 6.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great for a parade of different outfits for her wardrobe, which is absolutely fantastic. But we see her from scratch making her starter for her sourdough.
But I know so many people that have done it, and they're like, yeah, it's frustrating, but very satisfying at the end.
It would have been a lot of work to have to drive to that rented house every day and film.
Yeah, there was
It's sort of, you know, and change outfit and film, and so that's an extra mile.
There is one
quite
tiny
literally.
bit that she
just
filmed
like-
at home in her orchard.
Yes,
picking her own apples.
there was. Yeah.
But,
I'm glad
I
you
mean,
picked up on that too.
She comes to film in a studio. It's sort of like what we do every day for work, right?
What do you mean? This is my home.
Yeah.
Oh, you live here, right? So
Yeah, I'm just thinking about her having to drive there to take care of that sourdough. I mean, that's commitment.
Surely that was television fakery. There's no way on God's earth she actually did that. She just changed outfit and potted over every day. Somewhere, it's like Blue Peter. There's no
There's one
way.
I made earlier.
It is. There's no way. And especially, bear in mind, they filmed these 2 series back to back, I believe. So she then went straight into that one. They wouldn't have wasted time and money on how long did it take? Six goes.
7 days to do the starter.
They wouldn't have waited that. That's a Blue Peter special from Meghan there. Here's one on a quick outfit change. Oh, it's getting on well.
The final episode, she has the chef, the Spanish-American chef, Jose Andres, who she knows well because the Archwell Foundation supports his charity, World Central Kitchen. And he's this larger-than-life character. And she gets him in to prepare a meal for the crew. Now, how much of this is Meghan's authentic self? How much of this is actually a riposte to the critics and those who've said, you know, she treats her staff badly, that she's not good to work for? How much is this about Meghan showing that actually, look at me, I really look after those who work for me?
I think it's well, at the end of the first season, you sort of had a gathering element, didn't you? And that's when we saw Prince Harry. Yeah. So I think for the, you know, again, the last episode, there's a gathering element. This time, instead of having people around to sort of celebrate, as ever, I think it was at the end of season 1, this time it's to celebrate the crew and the people that have worked with her. I think, probably it is partly a conscious effort to be like, I actually do get on with the people I work with, but also maybe about appreciating a crew that have worked hard over 16, 17 episodes. I mean, sometimes I think it can just be that simple, that she just wanted to have a dinner for the crew and have a gathering for the last episode like she did in the last episode of the first season.
I'd like to know if when the cameras stopped rolling, she really stayed around, because she didn't.
Great question.
She absolutely didn't. Oh, lovely, let's all have a cup of tea. No, she wouldn't. She's too busy. She's got 2 children. She's running multiple businesses, doing a cooking show. I get it. I think it's lovely, but that's for show. I don't think everyone's going to suddenly sit and celebrate it.
You mentioned the kids because we get lots of references to Archie and Lily and how she likes, it's her love language really, isn't it? Food for the children. I think Lily likes the chia seeds in her pancakes that look like freckles and various things like that. But in her Bloomberg interview, she's been asked what she wants for her kids that is different from what she and Harry had. And she kind of alludes to Megxit and she talks about it. She says, oh yeah, I want them to have the fullness of life and family and support in a way that we have had and do have in many ways. I want them to carve out the life they want for themselves, and that will very much be not necessarily mimicking, but very reflective of the choices my husband and I have made. Afua, what do you make of that?
I mean, she wants them to be happy, right? And to be able to make their own choices and to be supported through that. I think that's just what everybody wants for your children, right? You just want them to be happy and whole and healthy. And perhaps that is in the life that they have built now. I mean, it's absolutely in the life that they have built now. So yeah, she wants them to be happy and supported. I think that's good for them.
You can see why they're so desperately trying to keep those children out of the public eye as well, because they will be two of the most watched children in the world, no matter what they do. Is, you know, they're very much, well, they're more than the Beckham children, you know, they're more than Kanye and Kim's children. They are going to be two of the most famous children in the world, and everyone will be looking at what they're doing for the rest of their lives, and they will never be able to get rid of that spotlight for as long as they live.
And she is willing to share a little bit more of them on her own terms now, on her newly kind of relaunched Instagram feed, Samara.
Yeah, she's the biggest paparazzi in their life. She's actually constantly feeding us with, I mean, we've seen their
Backs
faces.
of heads and bits of faces.
There were reels that really did show their faces. I mean, which that's her choice, no problem at all. But I think it's interesting. It's an interesting choice. I think it's not very fair that they haven't been able to meet their cousins. They haven't met their grandparents.
No, although there have been talks going on, haven't there? In recent weeks to potentially pave the way for some kind of reconciliation at some stage.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, but for now they live a very insular life and they're not surrounded by family in California. That's the truth of it.
I mean, Meghan's mum is around and they have friends who they regard as family. Yes.
I also think children don't often miss what they don't have.
Yeah,
so their cousins that live over the pond, I don't think they've got a desperate hankering to hang out with George and Louis and Charlotte because they don't know them.
But those
and their
people
children
will be the only three that will be going through a similar experience that they will then in the future. And I think it's really unfair to withhold from both sides that experience because they should have a bond. That's how they can get through those tough periods of being under the media scrutiny and under the, you know, the oxygen of publicity that will fill their lives. So I think that is unfair how those children are cut off from their family. And let's just see. You're right. There are talks. So hopefully.
What comes next for Meghan, with Love Meghan, as ever? We've got a new
we've got new
restock and a new product coming out later on today.
Yeah, so that's happening. We've got like a festive season special of With Love Meghan. We don't know about season.
Is that part of the new deal that they've got with Netflix?
I think it is, yes. Not sure when that's dropping, but it's sort of titled as Festive, so we can expect it around Christmas time, right? Around November, December. No idea about a season 3 yet under this new first look deal. But yeah, like we said, new as ever products coming, and then a With Love Meghan festive special.
And are these going to be a sellout in minutes as well? I think, was it the rosé? 44 minutes, or was that the restock?
Yeah, no, I'm sure they will. I mean, they're in small drops, as she's even revealed in her interview. They haven't been dropping a lot of produce, so I think, yeah, sure, it will sell out. I'm just glad. I was really prepared for them to not have a drop ready today and have the season drop. I was prepared for that disorganization because we've seen it before from her. But she was organized this time, and I think it's great to have the season coming out, the apricot spread dropping. She's getting it together. She's finally getting it together.
Yeah, and she's talked about the fact that she's looking for a retail partner or partners, that scaling the business is one of the most tedious and the hardest things to do, to go from making something in your kitchen to mass production. She talked about, talking about thousands of jars to talking about millions of jars, still some way off that. We still don't know the numbers. But clearly there is a plan. And also the Netflix partnership, she's revealed a bit more of, which was quite interesting.
Yeah, that sort of the brand is tied in with partners that Netflix use for distribution and things like that. So it's not
the
just
suppliers,
solely,
the manufacturing is kind of Netflix, the creative side is her.
Yeah, so it's not just her who's in charge of when things will come out, when things will drop. Netflix are involved in that as well, which I think is quite key and maybe something that we didn't have so much of an insight to before. But I think any founder will tell you scaling is so difficult, right? It's so hard to go from, like she said, ordering a few thousand jars or tubs of or whatever to going to millions and getting that right. And I guess that's where she is now.
Are you going to be ordering again, Samara?
As I said, I declared bankruptcy last time. It was so expensive. I mean, Meghan's not exactly bootstrapping her business, by the way. She's not a little founder in the back of her kitchen trying to make pots of jam and trying to give them off to people. So I do disagree.
Because it's her recipe, isn't it? But then it's made elsewhere. Then she tastes what's made elsewhere. She checks what they've made. But obviously, as anyone building a business that big, it's not the same as what we see being beautifully curated.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be
beautiful
different,
Montecito kitchen.
Yeah.
Maybe for Series 3, she'll take us inside the factory. If she has managed to scale up. You know, get a hairnet on.
It's not quite as sexy, is it, as going to meet a
But it's
fisherwoman
real.
on the Santa Barbara coast and, you know,
it's not as glamorous.
picking up sea urchins or
But if
whatever.
she wants to be authentic, I feel like we need some authenticity. A little bit
hairnet.
more. Yeah, the hairnet.
And the high-vis.
Yeah, high-vis hairnet.
Yeah, let's see that mass-produced jam. Let's go for it.
Really great to hear from all three of you and get your take on With Love Meghan. Well, thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments on the new series of With Love Meghan below. And remember to subscribe so you never miss any royal content here at The Sun. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.